Hi, welcome to my first tutorial. I'm going to try to show you how I go about exporting in Blender as an EXR format, and you can render all the passes you want and just export those. It's a pretty nice workflow, you'll see. So I have this scene as an example here. Nothing special really, but it'll do the job. So usually when people export things, they go into the output, they choose an output, a format here. If they're kind of more experienced, they might choose EXR multilayer. You would choose your passes here. Let's say I want Cryptomat, the mist pass, normal vector, denoising. Let's say those are enough. Yeah, what most people would do would be going here and exporting it from here. But what I do is in compositing, there's this really nice node that I haven't seen a lot of people use called file output, like that. And if you go to the node preferences, pressing N or dragging this small arrow, you go to node properties, you can choose, see these are the same settings as you would see in here, but you can choose which passes to have, and you can name different passes, things like that. So let's add some inputs. Let's say I want to export the base image, then the mist, and the normal, for example. I can name those here. You can choose your format in here. Let's specify a path. I'll just choose the desktop for now. I would advise doing DWAA. It's a lossy format, but you won't really see the difference and the files will be way smaller. We can do half depth float. Yeah, that's fine. So now when I render, wow, I guess I should have had less samples. Now we're gonna have to wait for the render, I guess. All right, there we go. Thanks to the render dance, I render faster than usual. Not really. That's obviously just anyway. Yeah, so you'll see that now we have our frame in here. And even though we exported it as different passes, everything is inside the multi-layer EXR. Let's say you don't want that. You can always have different file outputs with different paths and names. That's also the magic of this workflow. So now if you open your favorite compositing program, I use Fusion. So that's what I'm gonna open. You can just drag the file in here. And let's preview it. As you can see, the colors look kind of weird. That's because we don't have the Filmic color transform baked in or embedded in the image because we're using an EXR, so we don't have the color transforms in there. So we need that. And Filmic is something that Blender uses, so Fusion doesn't come with it. But no worries, there's a pretty easy way to import it in here. We're just gonna add an OCIO color space, like that. And now we click browse, go to your Blender path. Anyway, I don't really know the default directory, but I'll put it in here or something. And any Blender download works. It doesn't really have to be the one you're using, although sure, just use the one you're using, why not? We're gonna go into the Blender folder, Blender version, data files, color management, and you'll see this config.ocio file. That's what we want. Click open. And now in the source space, we can choose linear, and in the output sRGB. And there we go, we have our file with the correct color transform in a pretty easy and fast way in Fusion. Oh, forgot to mention this. All the passes are inside this node, so you can always go into here in format channels and choose your different channels in here. So for example, if I wanted to do things with normal, I can always use the normal section here and do normal X, normal Y, normal Z, or Z, I don't know, I'm not English. But you can always just have those in the color channels, and that way you can preview them easier. Like so. And now if you preview this, there we go, you have your normals. So yeah, I think that's it. I haven't seen all these steps in one concise video, that's why I chose to do it. But I usually don't create tutorials, so please subscribe to other people before you subscribe to me. Louis Dumont, I probably butchered that, I'm sorry. And also, what's the name? No way. Anyway, you'll have it on screen. Those guys have done tutorials about this stuff, but I haven't seen everything in one, so that's why I chose to do it. I hope it was useful. Thank you. Bye.